hold my breath during that part because sometimes it doesn't work. And all of a sudden it said, you're not live or whatever it says over here. So anyway, welcome. We're here.
We are, and we're going to learn about video, live streaming, podcasting,
Yep.
stories. And for those of you who are wondering who I am, I'll let Tanya introduce me.
No, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. You share your wonderfulness. You get to share your superpowers. And obviously, I have shouted out in our, on social media what you do. It says it right here on the screen. So I all of a sudden got nervous as the intro was playing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've taken some of her classes. She's gonna see if this is good or bad or ugly. And all of a sudden I got like stage fright.
That's the funny part. I actually come in. Yes, it is today. It's live. I promise you, if you want to know, like if you could see the date and time, it
There you
is
go.
it is real. We are live, and I'm so happy to be here. My name is Shree, and I am a video marketing producer. I help entrepreneurs create engaging videos that make them money. So this is not just those videos that you see on your profile, but it is also using the power of live streaming and then turning that into a podcast.
Yeah.
So Tanya, I love watching people's intros, how they do things, because it helps me, even though I'm helping others. There's maybe something that you're doing that I'm not. And that's what makes it beautiful, because we learn from each other. It's not just
Absolutely.
maybe I've fallen like a few more times than you have, but you know something that I don't. And that's always
I don't
fun.
know if we're going to count falls. Because I know I'm older than you. So I can play that card.
Well, think about this. This month not this month, but March marks 3 years of going live. So I started on Instagram with a hair tie, a ribbon, snow globe, and a jewelry box. And I made that work. And I had some crazy background behind me. And I went live, and my first 50 lives sucked. And I didn't care, because I look back and I'm so proud of that Shree for taking that leap.
Yep. That's awesome. So what's the backstory before you went live on Instagram?
I started a business in 2019 because I wanted to leave a legacy for my daughter. Her father had passed away tragically. He didn't leave anything for her, and his family disowned her. And I thought, this is not the way you do things for your child or even a 16-year-old young lady. So I decided, okay, I'm in oil and gas, and anytime I can lose my job, I want to be able to pick up and keep going. And so I started a business as a VA. As I was going through and learning how to do this business, people were telling me, you need to get testimonials. And then it was placed on my heart, hear their journey. But at that time, I was like, well, I need a studio. I need the equipment. I need this. I need that. And I'm just like, I don't know how to do this. And 2020 happens. And we all know the pandemic started. And here we are. I'm like, how do I show myself online? How do I build visibility to my business? There are so many people like me. How do I do it? What's up, Ryan? And that's when I realized, hey, there's something with video. I'm seeing Gary Vee, Ed Milet, Lewis Howes. Okay, how do you go live? And then I see my friend going live on Instagram, and I was like, wait a minute. I pray with this girl. I know her. So I called her up. She told me a few things. I asked 9 people to go live with me. The 10th one said yes. Courtney Herring is her name. And Courtney Harris. And that's when it all began. And I started to learn how my sales skills would come into play, asking the right questions. I was getting in the DMs with people, connecting with people. I had to get away from the fear of judgment, the fear of looking crazy or saying the wrong things. Or my first 50 lives, I lost a lot of weight because I was sweating so much. And I was so paralyzed with fear. I was like, on Instagram, we don't have an intro. It just goes live on the platform. Right. So here I am like, where are they? Why aren't they here? Hi, everybody. Okay, we're going to sit here and wait. I think we can do this. And then eventually I realized, that's not the right way. Start talking, start getting to develop some kind of opening. That's when I came up with the welcome, welcome, welcome. And then it turned into, hey, I'm afraid to go live. I don't know if I can do this. And here I am saying, no, you can go live. We can do this. Coach
Mhm.
helping them. And then when I hit my 100 in this Instagram live, which was in June of 2021, that's when I started working with a coach. And she was like, well, if you don't like the VA business, yes, Rachel, look where I
Yay,
am.
Rachel.
And that's how I started. I started my new business, which is helping entrepreneurs get on camera. I started posting on LinkedIn, and 6 months later, I got laid off
Mm,
9 days before Christmas.
yeah.
And that's how I ended the year and started 2022 as an entrepreneur. And I just had built this platform, this community who helped me not only get through when my daughter had left and I was crying my eyes out every day, every live show. I almost had a mental breakdown because I was just missing her so much, sharing
Yeah.
that journey of her, how her life and what it meant to me, and then sharing the journey of what it was like to lose a job, paying off everything because I was like, you know what? I'm going to invest in Shri and I'm going to pay everything off. I invested in a lot of coaching. And now this year, I'm actually applying everything. And I came across Tanya, and now I'm sharing my
Mhm.
story with all of you.
Yep. Yep. Well, and we met on LinkedIn. So, and so first, thank you everybody for being here. And if you're here and haven't commented, comment, please let us know you're here. Tell us where you're at if you want to. But I know we met on LinkedIn. I'm learning LinkedIn. I connect with Chris Hennessy, who says, Tanya, you've got to go live. And so I'm starting to go live. And so I'm watching other lives, and you keep popping up.
Because I'm that stalker that goes live all the time. And you know what?
No,
This is my shout out to all of my lurkers and Tanya's lurkers. Don't comment, don't like. But the day you're ready to, just message us. Just be like, hey, I've
yeah,
been watching you. I've been looking at you for the last 6 months.
that's right. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I'm learning, and I want to be better, right? So my first live, I totally feel you. My first live, I must have sweat buckets, right? I'm getting off the live, and I'm going, oh my God, I don't know. I don't think I took a breath the entire time I was on it, right? And they're growing, so I'm getting better, and I want to learn, and I want it to impact people, and I want to grow my business authentically, right? So I'm here to impact and improve the lives of my clients and future clients, past clients, and I love the platform. I did not think I did it kicking and screaming, and I'm so glad I did it.
I'm glad you did too, because it's in those moments that you don't want to do something that you realize you can do it.
Yeah,
How many times I would love to know from all of you have thought, I can't do this, I won't do this, this is not for me, and then ended up doing it anyways.
yeah,
Drop a heart if that's you. I will raise both my hands
yep,
because that's how many times that I would do something or not do something. Like, let's say I'm not going to eat this candy bar and then still eat the candy bar.
right.
But I'll say I won't go live on LinkedIn, but then I go live on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Karen. Yes. So I have, you've had a few workshops. You're having another one coming up.
Always.
Yeah. So I have a question, and please, anybody ask a question. So
Please do.
so I don't know how to do this. So you are commenting, right? So are you using your phone to comment?
I have a bad habit, so I use my phone. There are some that are able to make the window that we're going live on smaller, and then they have their profile, because sometimes this has happened to me multiple times. Pro tip for anybody who goes live or is thinking about going live, sometimes your audio, you don't realize that your audio is really bad.
Right.
I went live quite a few times, especially last year, and people are like, your audio sucks, I can't hear you. And I'm like, and that's when I learned, hey, this is what's going to help you. So I always have my phone. I'm engaging with people. I'm also paying attention to the comments. Luckily, I have on my team that there is a producer. Her name is Shannon. I trained her. So if you're looking for a producer, you have one in mind, Shannon Epps. And that is how I've been able to focus on other things in the show, also
Right.
getting the guests ready. So that's just, but if you're starting and you don't have capacity to be able to hire a producer, these are the things that we're doing in the behind the scenes. Not only we're getting the show ready, we're making sure the guest comes on time, doesn't have technology problems, and interacting with all of you at the same time.
Yeah. And that is on my bucket list, to have a producer, because it happens, right? Your guest comes on, and this has happened quite a few times. And I know Karen, Gretchen, she can raise her hand and say, "Oh my God, yes, Tanya's had some lives where the guest has an echo, or we can't hear the guest, and then they log off, and then they log back on, and then it works for a little while, and then it happens again, and they log off." That's not what you want to happen on a live, your guest logging off and logging on. And I am not experienced enough yet to problem solve the minor. I mean, I can have the, the basics. Like, let's check your mic. Let's check, your settings on your computer. But if the basics aren't working, that's where my knowledge ends. So having a producer would solve that.
It would. And the producer comes because they have gone through it themselves. When I went live on Instagram, every time I had a guest that they looked bad, I would have friends calling me, DM me, "Why did you allow that to happen? It fell on me." And I would be like, "But it's not me." And they're like, "No, it's your show. You own the show. So you need to make sure." So I had to look up, why would their sound quality be bad? Why would their, like on their camera, why would that look bad? And it all was a lot of research, a lot of asking, a lot of understanding that sometimes your computer needs to be an update, or you got a virus.
You have too many windows open or whatever. So Jerry has a question, Shri. So what did you do to improve your audio? Did you answer it?
No, I didn't answer it, but I saw her question. And so when somebody's audio isn't working, it's usually because the connection is wrong or it's not proper. Or if you're using Restream or StreamYard, there is what's called settings. And in the settings, you would have to go in and select the audio output. So that's what I would have to do. That's all I have to say. Make it easy, because it's really that simple. But really, in the time, you're like, oh my God, how is this? But it's really just that.
Yes, there's been times after it was about 2 weeks ago, one of my lives where we said goodbye, and I went, "Oh my God, that's the worst one," because nothing was working and she kept freezing. And I'm thinking it was her internet. I have no control over fixing her internet. So yeah, sometimes life happens, and that's okay too.
It is. And it just becomes, that's why, we ask if anybody is a guest, always come 10 to 15 minutes before. Allow yourself, so that you do a sound check. A sound check is when you don't just be like, sound check. Talk. When you talk for a few minutes, talking about your day, or just talking about it. I read Dr. Seuss' book, and it was green eggs and ham. And I liked when they talked about the green eggs. And the reason why is because as you're talking, sometimes you can catch where that technical difficulty is coming, because you didn't catch it when they just said mic check. But as they're talking, that's when you'll catch, hey, this is not working. This is not working. Or on Restream, you can see at the top for each party, the host, the guest, at the top, you can see what looks like bars, like on your phone. So if it's in the green, they're good. But if in their yellow, that's when you got to start thinking, okay, are you using an incognito window? Do you have too many windows open? How much memory is being used on your computer? Like, these are things that, of course, you wouldn't know unless you had somebody walk you through. So that's something that I have in my mastermind, the 12-week mastermind, where we walk you through that, because sometimes there's things that would take you so much longer, or you may never face. But if you do face it, you learned it because of the mastermind. So Rachel had a question that says,
and Gretchen too. So we'll go down. So Gretchen, I also learned that if you use the big music sound on Restream, it cuts out your guest host's audio.
I don't use music on mine, so That's a really good question, which we will ask others to answer
Yep.
because I
Yep.
personally, I just use, I create an opening and it's a very simple opening, but it has music. But you can add music, and Restream has options to add music as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And Gretchen, there's nothing we can do about the sun. That is out of our control zone, coach.
Well, you can always have lighting. That's what this beautiful lighting is for. So if you don't
Yep.
have lighting, you can always, if you don't have a ring light, you can always use a lamp.
Yep. Okay, so Rachel, do you love going live now?
Yes, I do love going live. In the beginning, that was the only thing I did. I was not putting out any static posts, and I would say in 2020 when everybody was putting static posts, I was the one going live and putting out video content.
Yeah.
So I was in the wild, wild west. And if now you ask me which one I prefer to put as content, I'd rather go live or do a video instead of having to write the copy for the
Yeah.
post.
And so that's one of my struggles. Or I'll wake up and I'll have like the urge, oh, I have this message, or I woke up going, oh, I want to share this. And then I think, well, do I want to create a video? Do I want to do a reel? Do I want to go live? And I don't know that I really have like a system or an answer. I just kind of struggle with which one am I going to do. And sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's, I'll go live because I can push this out to, multiple streams at the same time. Advice or a preference?
So this is where I'm going to challenge. It's great to go live. You can go live every day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand, why would someone want to watch your show? You have to give them some reason. Now, there are some YouTubers that they go live 3 hours a day, twice a week, and do that for a whole year. And that's how they grow so quickly. You could do the same thing, or you can have a variety of content. You can cut up your live show, or you can make a carousel, or you can do a shorter clip of just tips.
Yeah.
Draw people to you and get them to watch. So I did something that a lot of people are afraid to do and are like, this is not what but they need to do, is I took a break. In the last about a week, I didn't really post, and Tanya wouldn't have known, but because I was active in my Facebook community, but I really was. This is the first time I'm really going and like, this is content, because I decided that after a rough week and I just needed a break, and I just said peace to social media, and I took a break. And just like many of you, you're like, well, what about the followers? And what about this? It's okay. I'll get it back. I'm not worried.
Do you feel that after with a week off that you lose followers? Because I see that a lot. People say, hey, I'm taking a week off. It's going to take me a while to build my followers back up. However, I need that break.
You do lose followers, which is crazy to me to think that you would lose people. But I find it that those who care for you will always show up. And I was like here and there in different places, but I too am like, gosh, this person was just behind me and now they're almost going to beat me with their followers. But I needed the break. I just needed it, and I'm okay. I'm happy that I did it. And I always share to others, you look like you need a break, take it.
Yeah. Well, as a coach, I totally 135% support self-care and taking a break. And just to let everybody know, I will be taking June off from live streaming because I want to revamp it. Going to lean into Shree and her advice. I want it to come back and take it to the next level. And I don't even know what that next level looks like, being so new to live streaming.
It will look different. I mean, I've been doing this 3 years, and looking back, Shree 3 years ago is not the same, but the confidence to know that I can do it is there. Like I knew I could go live. Now there was different other things, but it's totally different. And Rachel, when you say attention span, what are you referring to? Is it the long video or the short video? I would love to know so I can better answer that question.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Rachel to respond. Do you prefer? And then I see She says just moving forward. So I'm confused too, Rachel.
But when she does, we'll answer
We'll
it.
figure it out. So my question for you, Shri, is do you prefer going live by yourself, or do you prefer having a guest, or do you have multiple guests? So I've never had multiple guests.
So when it comes to live streaming, you have to understand why you're going live and what is the purpose of your show. So if you want to have multiple guests, you can have multiple guests. If you want to go live by yourself, go live by yourself. I will say this, that if you are always going live with other people, your audience would like it when you go live by yourself. So keep that in mind. You are valuable. What you have to share is valuable. The lessons you've learned along the way are valuable. So don't ever underestimate you in this equation of going live. Plus, they get to know what it's like if they are thinking about, hey, Shri has this 12-week mastermind. What is it like? What is it going to talk about? I have a few questions. Let me ask her during the live. And Rachel, so when it comes to a break, viewers, it's not the viewers, it's mostly the algorithm that sleeps on you. Your viewers, those who love and care for you, will be waiting for you. If anything, they'll be reaching out. What's going on, Paul?
Hey,
and
Paul.
they'll be asking and probably messaging you. I take a monthly break of the last week. I don't go live, but this time I took time off of social media. And so the algorithm is not going to push my content out, but that just means that I need to be engaging a few days before, need to be putting back some love. And at the end of the day, you really have to look at this. Are you there just to get likes and comments, or are you there to convert? Because you can have a post and have 2 comments, yet one of those people get into your DMs, work with you, and pay. So what's really important?
Right. And I also want to throw out there, Gretchen is on all the time. Rachel, Karen, Paul's been on before. And I'm sure you have very loyal followers too, that, hey, I need a break. See you in a month or see you next week. That's not going to sever that relationship that you've built. It might be with some either new followers or people that you haven't really connected with. I don't know if I'm right or wrong in that perspective. I can't. So I'm going to call Rachel out. I can't. No pressure, Rachel. I can't imagine that after a month I'd have to go search for Rachel.
No, you wouldn't. But I would say, do take time to put some, like, before you actually get back on, like, take time, start engaging with people, start reaching out to people. If you have a Facebook group, if you have an email list, like, reach out to them, let them know that you took a break, and then let them know, like, especially your email, you're like, hey, I'm about to be coming back and I missed you, and great building idea. That suspense. And because you're commenting, you're in the algorithm and they actually, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, they love when you're spending time on their platform. So just you doing those small things, attend people's lives, show some support. Don't worry, the platforms will pay you back.
Yeah. Hi, Susanna. You're not late. We're here.
We're on time. We're on time.
You're here. Any other questions, please plop them in. So I always ask a couple of the same questions with every guest. We're sharing our stories. Hey, Charlotte. Charlotte, talk about great videos. I mean, Charlotte is a lender, and she is a phenomenal dancer. So she morphs her dancing skills with her lending videos. Blows me away.
I wish I could dance. You don't want to see me dance. It's like, if you guys know, if you had children, iCarly, and they had random dancing and they would just be dancing crazy, that's exactly me.
Yeah. Well, I danced as a teenager. I like line dancing and square dancing. I can't believe I just admitted that out loud, but I do.
Is that wrong? I live in Texas, Houston, Texas. We're huge on that line dancing, and I just
I wish I knew you when I lived there. I used to live in Spring.
We weren't meant to be there, but now we are. So
now we are. Yep.
No problems.
It's where I grew my real estate business. I've been licensed in many states. Houston, I was super successful and grew a very successful real estate company in Houston. So I had a lot of oil and gas clients moving in and out.
That's what,
Yeah.
we are known for that.
Charlotte, you distracted me. And Charlotte says, phenomenal might be a stretch. Nope, it's not. Anything, what's next? Like we know where we're at now. We're writing our stories. I'm growing a coaching company. You're producing and teaching and coaching on video. Any sneak peek into what we can listen to as you throw that out into the universe? What's next for you?
So what's next is that I'm going to ask you to come and join my free Facebook community. Tanya is there and you get to connect every week in the month. I have something that's on Wednesday. So there's networking within the community. There's a hot seat where I'm bringing in a guest. For April, I'm bringing in a storytelling and branding coach where you can ask questions about your brand or your storytelling, just anything, or even about video live streaming.
Or you post a challenge, like I want to see a video, and then all of a sudden
that's weekly. Weekly, I post a video challenge. I've gotten better with the types of topics to get you to think outside of your box and get you to be like, because when you do that, you get better at your appearing on video and short storytelling. There's also a live masterclass, a live workshop, and that's all in the free Facebook community. I also have the Streaming to Success Mastermind, where it's 12 weeks. And if you would like to join, I'm going to help you create a live streaming show and podcast that will help you bring in leads. It will also have experts. So these are industry experts that will be providing you help with sales, with your designs and marketing, and also how to edit. So you're not just getting me, you're getting the team. And I also, as bonuses, you get the 21-day video challenge, which is where you get a prompt every day. And all you have to do is create the video so it can draw people. Because remember, if they don't know you, they won't attend your live streaming show. But once they do, then they will. Plus, it's also ways to get into the DMs, convert followers to clients. And there's also 2 one-on-one 45-minute one-on-one call with me. And there's much more. So if you're interested, the link is in the comments to see if applying and being part of the program is for you. And most of all, I would say make sure you connect with Tanya because she is amazing. She's always going to be dropping some tips. I know she'll be taking a break in June. But you want to make sure you reach out to her if you have questions. And I also want to share that I would stalk your videos, stalk your live shows just to see what it was about. Because I was like, what's your story? Because one of the things that some people may not know is in the beginning of this year, I struggled with storytelling. So I joined a group, but all they do is storytelling. And then that's what you're seeing right now. I started in January, and here we are.
Well, storytelling is amazing, right? It for so many levels, right? It's how we get to where we are. It's how we develop our superpowers, right? I mean, some of the things I've gone through in my life, either through a divorce or, living on a sailboat or learning how to fly an airplane in an all male dominated, airport, a lot of struggles to do that. And one of my proudest ones is learning to fly an airplane. And I have a lot of stories around that. But it makes us who we are, right? And it leaves a legacy, and it lets people know that they're not alone, because, it wasn't a straight ride downhill with the wind at my back going, yeah, I learned to fly a plane. I had to go through 3 or 4 flight instructors before one left me alone. I was 24 years old when I did that. So I was young, cute, all that kind of stuff. So those stories let other people know, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's why I do What's Your Story? Because I want to empower people to go for their next story. I want them to achieve that next story that they really, really want. And I have a question for Charlotte. Charlotte, have you gone live? I mean, Charlotte's been on my live, and I kid you not, on Charlotte's live, I got a lot of DMs afterwards, like, can I have her contact information? Charlotte, have you gone live other than my live? Do you go live on your own? So that's a question for Charlotte if you're still here. Courtney, thank you for hopping in. So that's the second question.
Podcast.
Charlotte says a podcast. Okay, so I have to go find that, Charlotte. I did not know you had a podcast.
So we got to get you to go live too, so draw people to the podcast, because if many people asked about you, they're still looking for you.
Yeah, and Charlotte is phenomenal at what she does, and she explains it in such easy terms, right? Not for the average person to understand. So, all right, Charlotte, there's the challenge.
Well, she is the one that said that she wanted to join the free Facebook community. Come on. And in there, you will have a chance to practice going live in the group. You will have a chance to drop a video every week. There's something that happens. I loved how you brought up that what you learned when you were learning to fly, because those lessons, how do they help you today?
Yeah.
Especially with dealing with tough clients.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Karen, if we could, I'm going to share this with Phil, because he is a race car driver. If we could wear patches on our clothes to represent our stories, like a NASCAR driver wears their sponsors, we would be shocked what people have done. Yes.
What's the most shocking thing that you did, if you can share and if you're willing to share? I think the most craziest is when I tell people I was a limo driver.
Wow.
I drove those huge ass limos. So yes, I drove a limo because I needed to make some money. I've worked multiple jobs. I'm always working multiple jobs. I've never just worked one.
Yeah.
As a single parent, especially a single living parent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was a single mom too. So I had two my daughters now are 25. Sorry, Anya, 25 and 27. Single mom, right about the ages about 13, 12, 11. And yeah, we do what we need to do to raise our babies.
Yep. And now even now I'll work multiple. I feel like I have multiple jobs, because there's the Facebook, there's the agency where we take care of all of the producing and all of your marketing and even social media management. We also have, there's also the chats. People have moments in life.
Yeah.
Not just my own daughter, but it's hard being an entrepreneur and being able to share that with someone, like, hey, how do you get through this? Or just pray with me.
Yeah.
I just need to have a prayer moment. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. I know that I was so scared when all of a sudden, we were living in Houston. My ex moves to Maine, and I've got my two daughters, and I'm like, what do I do? My income was always discretionary, and I hired a coach, and the rest is history. I grew one of the most successful real estate businesses in Houston, and okay, I'm going to say this out loud. I know this isn't very nice, but made more money as a single female than the two of us ever made together. And that felt really good too at the time.
Well, if you look at it, like when I look at something like that, that just means that wasn't the right person, right?
No.
Like I was sharing with Tanya 2 weeks ago, I had to let go of a client because it wasn't a good fit. But it ended up that it opened more doors for that client and for myself. It wasn't done out of malicious.
Yep, I know. So, yep.
But it was because that's what needed to happen. When we hold on to something that's not for us, we're not receiving the blessings that the universe has. So once we let go, that's when, like, whoa, this is crazy. Am I listening, Coach?
Yes, Karen. Yes, because Shree and I were sharing how, some of our client stories before we got on this call. So yes, Karen, I am listening. Yes. And more doors will open up.
They will.
I just love my clients. I do. They are the most phenomenal. Well, 99.9% of them are the most phenomenal people.
Sometimes we need to take our own advice. We're like really good at giving advice, but then when we hear it, there's so many times that I catch a live or a video and I'm like, or podcast. I'm a huge fan of Joel Osteen. So if some of you don't like him, I understand, but he is my best friend. And
But
You know,
he's huge
sometimes
in Houston. Yeah.
he's huge, but I knew about him from 2000 and I was um in Miami. So with
Yeah.
him, sometimes there was one where faith is going to come in this, and it was like, who's on the throne? Is it God or is it worry? Who are you praying to? That gets you to think, okay, what is my focus? Because it's
Yep.
going to be okay. If the deal doesn't go through, it wasn't meant for you. If
Yep.
the client leaves, they weren't for you. If this marriage wasn't for you, it was because something better is in store for you.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. And I have another phenomenal client that sent me a prayer today. He texted it to me, and it's beautiful, and it was just perfect timing with some of the, as a business owner, right? Not everything is always easy. And again, those are the things that make us stronger and better business women going forward. I believe that with all of my heart, right? These lessons, as long as we learn them, there's our growth.
There is. And I send those prayer messages, a lot of times I'm sending those messages to people. And one day I received one and it was a personalized prayer for me. And I was like, I don't know how she knew, but I'm so thankful she did send it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are past time. We are at 4:37. So
I'm so sorry I took all your time. I'm
you
thankful
did
for all
no,
of
please don't
you.
apologize. We probably could keep on going, but I want to honor your time, everybody's time on the call, and I am visiting my daughter and granddaughter, so I can hear her in the other room.
Oh,
There's
yes, I don't
nothing
want to take
sweeter
up.
than grandma.
You know what? Those are the moments. We can't take more time.
No,
Those moments go by way too quick, and then they turn 21 asking you for money.
she'll be 2 in a few months, so that doesn't part. But Charlotte asks us, can't wait to see the Facebook information. So maybe she can't see what you had posted.
I have to go to your Facebook then and post it there.
Okay. So we'll get to you, Charlotte.
We will. I'll get to you. Don't
Okay.
worry. I'm coming.
Okay. So any other video questions, live stream questions, please reach out to Shree. She is on Facebook. She is on LinkedIn. Easy to find. Jerry says she can't see it either. So it'll get reposted. We'll get it to you, Jerry, and anybody else who wants it. Or, message me. I'll get you Shree's information. But she's on it.
Yep, I'm right here.
Yep. And Charlotte did accept the challenge for her own live stream show. So we're both signing up to be guests, Charlotte.
Yeah, the challenge is so I do a weekly challenge. I've been posting it on Sunday, and it's just something that's happened during the week personally to me. And then I find that it connects with others. So last week was self-care and the importance of realizing self-care.
Yep.
I mean, I know what burnout is, so I knew when I was getting close. I saw the signals and I said, that's it. I'm taking time off. And so that was the inspiration for Sunday's video challenge. What does self-care look
So
like?
do I give bonus points and brownie points for accepting the challenge and posting the video?
You can always post. Like there's no like sometimes if you see something from a few weeks ago, I'm always going to post a video challenge every week. But if you are inspired the week later or 3 weeks later, it doesn't bother me.
That's okay. I'm crazy competitive, Shree. So you post a challenge and my ears pop right up. Like Spock. Ooh, a challenge. Okay.
Let's do it. And hopefully that it will inspire you to do even or create a video. Like maybe the video you post in the group is just the first round, but then you redo it and you post it on your social. And that could be maybe the post that goes viral for you. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Shree, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Glad we connected. Looking forward to your course. And anybody has questions, they reach out to me, or finding Shree is not hard. So just blessed that you got on today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for all of you who are watching the live and catching the replay. We truly appreciate you.
Yep.